Following a federal judge's ruling that allowed Front Row Motorsports to obtain one of the charters from Stuart Haas Racing, the team has signed Zane Smith to a multi-year contract in the NASCAR Cup Series. Now, Smith will drive the number 38 Ford full-time, joining teammates Todd Gilliland, who takes over from the number 34 from, as I mentioned a second ago, Michael McDowell, and Noah Gregson is going to drive the number 4 Front Row, and Smith have some good memories together, of course, winning races in the Truck Series, including the 2022 Truck Series title. So it's a good partnership starting off with. He also ran part-time Cup Series schedule for the team in 2023 when he made the Daytona 500 in an uncharted open car. Then got a top 10 in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte in the same year. Now, Ryan Berginti as well will be his crew chief in 2025, the same crew chief he worked with during his handful of Cup Series starts in 2023. In 2024, Smith competed in the Cup Series full-time for Spire Motorsports as a Trackhouse Racing development driver. Now, Smith's rookie season in NASCAR's Premier Series got off to a rough start, but he improved his results during the second half of the 2024 season. However, it still wasn't enough to convince Trackhouse to keep him and move him into the third Trackhouse Cup car for 2025. Instead, Trackhouse chose, as we said, Shane Van Gisbergen and left Smith's career in limbo until Front Row got the green light to receive the third charter. Now, Smith said he's always felt at home with Front Row, and he's looking forward to working with his two teammates who are great friends of his off the racetrack. Graphic you can see there of Front Row Motorsports. Simple question here, I think, as well. Can Zane Smith and Front Row pick up where they left off from their time together in the Truck Series? And do you think that Smith has a lot to prove after Trackhouse inevitably chose SVG over him?
Yeah, he was the kind of the odd man out, wasn't he, last year? We kind of all knew that Van Gisbergen was going to get the spot if they could sort the charters out, and that's ended up what happened. And it was unfortunate for Zane to be the man left standing when the music stopped with the Trackhouse game of musical chairs. But he's picked up a good ride here at Front Row. We saw, especially in the super speedway qualifying last year, how good Todd Gilliland and Michael McDowell were. Just tremendous qualifying attempts from them on all those super speedways. So watch out for him at Daytona and then Atlanta at the beginning of the season, because they'll have some fast qualifying speed. You know, he's too good. He's one of those guys where you look at it, and we have this in Formula One from time to time, too good to be left on the sideline for a seat. I think Zane he's proved it time and time again in the Truck Series over the last couple of years how talented he is against, I guess, a lesser talented field. But there were some bright spots in the Cup Series last year, especially in the second half of the year, where he had some good results, as you mentioned. So, again, too good to be left out. If he'd found a ride in Xfinity, you would suggest he might be a championship, in the championship sort of conversation. So, he is of a decent standard, and now he's got himself a really good team behind him. Front Row, continuing to every year make gains, in their pecking order. So, yeah, pleased for Zane to pick this ride up, and hopefully it will be good things for him.
And, of course, NASCAR kicks off at Bowman Gray with the Clash, and then we'll be entering the Daytona Speed Weeks with practice, qualifying, and all of the duels as well. It's going to be a very, very exciting couple of months ahead of us, as we will basically just be at Daytona. And, of course, a link with our Rolex 24, our pre-race show, is in the works, and you can join us for that at the end of the month.